Pokemon Go news? Welcome on in, trainers. I'm Mrs. My 100, your local NYC content creator for Pokemon Go travel and food, etc., etc. We got some exciting news in Pokemon Go, some of it which came out a little bit ago, so we're going to cover that as well. But this goes over GoFest 2025 dates, locations, as well as some updated information we now have about the Unova tour. Let's dive into it, but before we do, be sure to hit that subscribe button and smash that thumbs up and the bell notification so you get notifications every time I drop a video. Right, Logan? Is that a yes? Can I have a snoop? Okay, let's dive into it. Hey y'all, Mime here. I do want to acknowledge that I shot this video a couple weeks ago when the news had dropped about the GoFest dates, and since then there have been some horrific fires rushing through the LA area, including near Pasadena. So Niantic did post that they say they are closely looking at the situation and evaluating whether some things might need to change for the Unova tour that is supposed to take place in February in Pasadena. So we don't know quite yet. These fires are not under control. We do hope everyone in that area stays safe. It is really sad, but yeah, I just want to acknowledge that before we continue with the rest of the video. Obviously, this is all subject to change if Niantic decides it is no longer safe to hold Unova tour in Pasadena, but I will certainly update you when I can if I hear anything. Let's continue with the video. Thanks, Mime. Over here at the Pokemon Go Live website, PokemonGoLive.com. This is the official Pokemon Go website. We're going to head into Go Tour. We'll cover that first, because I know y'all want to hear about GoFest stuff, in my opinions. Go Tour, we recently just had some new announcements drop. So, as I predicted in the first video about the Unova tour, Black and White Kyurem will be available, making their debut in Pokemon Go. You have to fuse them like you do with Necrozma and Solgaleo and Lunala right now. Kyurem will have to be fused with Reshiram or Zekrom in order to get Black and White Kyurem. You have to have enough of these fusion energies, basically, in order to create the Black Kyurem or White Kyurem. They will be debuting at the in-person Go Tour event. That's in Los Angeles and in Taipei, Taiwan. Both of those happening the same weekend, simultaneously, basically, except time zones, whatever. And then it will make its debut globally for the Unova Global Tour on March 1st. Now, back to the news that you all excited for, and a lot of you came here for. GoFest 2025 dates and locations have been announced. This is the earliest we've ever heard them, and it's just preliminary information. I think Niantic has heard the feedback where people just want to know the dates and locations so they can plan travel and take time off from work, and we got all that now. We don't have exactly what's going to happen at these events, or even like the specific parks, but we have the cities and we have the dates, so let's go over them. So here's the official news announcement that came out on January 6th. We're thrilled to announce GoFest is returning for 2025. Osaka, Japan, once again, May 29th to June 1st. They do Japan really early on because it gets so hot and the weather is brutal to be outside for that long of a period, so I think that makes sense. Number 2, June 6th to June 8th, Jersey City, New Jersey. Okay. So it was in New York, as I predicted it would not be New York again. Apparently, New York City has some struggles logistically with working with Niantic to get these events to work well. So they decided to go, hey, whatever, Jersey City, right across the water. Why don't we take a look? We can take a look at a map of Jersey City in a little bit, but let's go over the last date. And of course, the last date is Paris, France. That's happening June 13th to June 15th. Coincidentally, the same exact dates as NAIC, the official North American international competitions for Pokemon competition championships. Yeah, which is in New Orleans, and I went to that last year, and if you haven't seen that video, you should watch it. That event is awesome. It's so good. I highly recommend going if you can. But now Paris is on the table, and I would love to go to Paris. Decisions. But anyway, the rest of the news article says that more information will be available in March about tickets and, specific details about the events and parks and things like that. But at least we have the date, so if you need to take time off from work and you need to start booking flights and hotels. And now to look at the map of the New York City, Jersey City area so that you get an idea of what's happening here. So last year and the year before, we had Randall's Island Park, which is right over here. Can you see it? Yeah, flashing blue. As we recall, it's a kind of difficult park to get to, just in so many ways, and the weather is brutal in the summer. Not a lot of shade, a lot of walking, a lot of construction happening. It wasn't the best park. The people agreed, Niantic agreed, and instead we're moving. Hello, Jersey City. This is Jersey City. For those of you who don't know, while I was born in New York, I actually grew up in New Jersey, in central Jersey, and I actually did spend a good amount of time in Jersey City for a little bit after college. I had a friend, this is totally a random story, but I had a friend who lived out on a boat in Jersey City, and it so happens to be, or it was, I should say, right in here, which is clearly the biggest available park in Jersey City. It's Liberty State Park. It's a gymongous park, and there's a boat marina right here, which is where my friend used to live. So I'm very familiar with this area. Liberty Science Center is here. This was as a kid, everyone's favorite field trip to learn about science. Anyway, might be a good opportunity if you're bringing your kids and deciding to come to Jersey City's Go Fest. In any case, this is more than likely going to be the park that Go Fest will take place at. If you look at the rest of Jersey City, there really isn't much else. This is kind of like the west side, and at that point, why are we over there? Don't go to Lincoln Park. But yeah, so we got Liberty State Park, which is humongous, and I will warn you now that there is not a lot of shade there. There is not a lot of shade. So we're basically going to be having Randall's Island Part 3. So just come prepared to hide under umbrellas, bring your own sun umbrellas, bring lots of sunscreen, lots of water, and as a reminder from last year, some of these water fountains, refillable water fountains that Niantic provided at this event, were so busy, the lines were so long, or they just didn't have enough supply for all the people. So I would say, especially if you're sensitive to that, make sure you come prepared with water and snacks. Also, there is not a lot of stores or places to buy things around here, truthfully. So again, come prepared, because it's really going to be brutal, and you're going to come out here and be like, there is nothing out here. there's literally nothing out here. What am I supposed to do? I will say they have built up this area a little bit since I last visited. There's, some more expensive condos and high-rises they built up, because you know why? Because New York got expensive, so people moved to Jersey City, and now the rent in Jersey City is just as much as it is in New York. And I could go on and rant about this forever, but Jersey City is pretty much just as expensive as New York. You might be able to find some better deals on Airbnbs, because there's a different regulation in New York City. They started to heavy regulate it last year, whereas Jersey City and New Jersey, I think they're a little more open-minded about these short-term rentals and Airbnbs. And even some of the hotels might be a little cheaper because they don't have to deal with New York City fees or things like that. But all that to say is you will be in New Jersey. Again, I used to live there, so I'm allowed to talk about it like this, but Jersey City is a small city. Okay, if the gameplay is going to be like previous years, where half the day you spend in the park and half the day you spend in the city, if Jersey City is going to be the limitation for the city play, y'all are going to get bored super fast. I'm just giving you my honest opinion. There are some cool landmarks and some little cool things. Like I said, Liberty Science Center is pretty neat. But truthfully, if you've never been to New York, like if you didn't come the last 2 years, you're probably going to want to take the ferry and head into New York City and go exploring there instead, because it's a lot more interesting. It is a lot more interesting. Okay. I might be over-exaggerating a little bit, because there is, like, Ellis Island is over here, which I've been to, and is pretty neat, if you're into that sort of, like, history stuff. There's apparently a bridge. I never realized there was a bridge. I usually take the ferry, or I've taken the ferry from, like, Lower Manhattan to Ellis Island. And you can also take that ferry to Statue of Liberty, if that's what you want to visit as well. These two landmarks are technically in New Jersey. I don't really tell you that, but these two landmarks are technically in New Jersey, and within a pretty close distance of the potential site for GoFest 2025. There is one ferry that goes here, right at the end there. Statue City, Liberty State Park. There's one, whereas you look at Manhattan and there's just so many ferries. Anyway, I am the ferry queen, apparently. I tell you all about the ferries that you can take in the tri-state area. Somebody put a boat crown on my head, I guess. So, Liberty State Park, a giant park, not a lot of shade, likely going to be another challenging one. I can already see or predict some of your questions in the chat, is like whether I should, where should I fly into? What hotels? Should I stay in New Jersey? Should I stay in New York? And I think that's all kind of going to be up to you and what you want most out of this trip, right? Again, if you didn't come to GoFest the last 2 years, or you've never been to New York before, I kind of recommend staying in New York City, or at least plan to travel into New York City, because that's going to be much more interesting, and you're going to have more opportunities to see sights and like try different foods and things like that. It's just more exciting. Jersey City has some things. It's just like NYC light, if you will. If you've been to NYC before, you're not super interested, you really just want to focus on the gameplay, yeah, you can probably find some Airbnbs in this area. I imagine people put up their apartments for rental all the time, and there probably are a good handful of hotels out here as well that may be cheaper than what you find in the city. But it is going to be more limited stock, I think, as opposed to like in the city where there's a lot of hotels. It's just that the quality is going to vary quite a lot. Another thing I will say is that the transportation here will be probably pretty decent. Again, there's a ferry option. There is walking within Jersey City. It's a very walkable city, in my opinion. But there is also like a light rail. There's a light rail that goes around the city, which is pretty decent, and they kind of do the same pay system as New York, where you basically, like, it's kind of like tap and go, or like you can use a Metro card or whatever, and pay per rides, that sort of thing. But there is a light rail, and it is walkable, and if you're flying into Newark, there is the NJ Transit train, which is not far at all. You can take it, and then you can take the PATH train, the local like train system, not the light rail, the underground train system, like the subway system in Jersey City, is called the PATH train. And the PATH train also goes into New York City too. So if you wanted to just do that instead of taking a boat, you could do that too. I'm talking all kinds of transportation right now, and this might be jumping the gun for some of you. But I'm just giving you some of the facts that I know right off the bat. But we're pretty close to Newark Airport. I know Newark is annoying to travel into for some folks, but it is an option there. You can take the PATH train, the NJ Transit train, and get yourself to Jersey City. There are lots of bus options too. NJ Transit, God bless NJ Transit. They're going through a lot of issues. Prices are going up, but I used to rely on NJ Transit a lot when I had to commute into the city for work when I lived in Jersey. Ooh. And all of that jazz. And like I said, when I visited my friend who used to live on a boat right next to Liberty State Park, commuting into the city was super easy. There's literally ferries that just go right across the water here, right near like Lower Manhattan, kind of near World Trade Center. So you're already going to be able to get to these like really touristy sites must-see sites, I should say, in New York City pretty easily from Jersey City. Anyway, that's kind of all I've got for now. And again, that's all assuming that Liberty State Park is going to be the park. That is my biggest assumption, though, because there isn't really much else that I would say is probably the park, unless I go with Lincoln Park, but I really doubt it. So let me know in the comments down below what kind of questions you have, what kind of things you want to know about Jersey City. We got lots and lots of time to prep now. You might be starting to look at flights, and flights are a bit expensive in New York, it's true. My commute here is going to be very difficult. Just a long travel from the Bronx. It really is. Beside the point, though, thank you so much for watching. Again, drop your questions in the comments below. I'll try to answer as many as I can, and if y'all ask sort of the same questions, maybe I'll put out another video about it soon. But in the meantime, thank you so much for watching. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button, smash the thumbs up, and I will see you all next time. Bye.